All right, y'all. Welcome. Thank you for being patient as it took me forever to get this video up. We're in my living room now. Thank you for being patient. All right, let me read this to you quickly. Remember, Laocoon has just gotten attacked by the snakes in the last one. They're kind of up, it says either they overcome him with their head and tall necks. They're kind of up over him. They've kind of wrapped around him. So this is him trying to get free and failing. All right, so that man, Laocoon, tries. Now, that's a present tense. That's why I said tries. It's really a historical present. You can do it all as perfect or all as present. I'm choosing to do present. You may choose to do perfect. So tries to untie the knots, to tear apart, maybe to tear apart the knots with his hands at the same time. So this is your ablative of means, with his hands at the same times, having been covered with respect to his headband. Remember, this is the priestly headband. He's going to wear it to hold his hair out of his eyes while he's making a sacrifice. So, having been covered with respect to his headband with gore and black venom. That's from the snakes. And remember, we talked about he has not been bitten yet. He's just been wrapped around. So it's his kid's blood. That makes it extra sad, I think. At the same time, so notice I will try and make them a different color. They've got the at the same time in there. That wasn't a great circle, sorry. So it's saying at the same time that he's trying to fight off the snakes and break free. That's at the same time that he raises, again, it's historical present, raises horrendous shouts. That was horrible underline to the stars. And then this section here, these next two lines are one big simile comparing Laocoon to a sacrificial cow, which is interesting because he's a priest. He was sacrificing when this happened. We know because he's wearing his headband. So just like the bellow, the moo, remember we talked about how that's an onomatopoeia. Just like the moo, when an injured bull flees the altar and shakes off the uncertain axe from its neck. That's an ablative place from which is a weird one, from his neck. But this is describing, again, the cow that they swung the axe, they tried to kill it, they couldn't, and it flees. I'll read that part two again. So just like the bellow, when an injured bull flees the altar and shakes off an uncertain axe from its neck. Now we're going back, starting here to our actual scene that's happening in front of us with the snakes. I'll switch color for you because we're going back. All right. But the twin snakes with a slip, with a glide, it's telling you how they're going, ablative of manner. With a glide, maybe flee to the highest temple, and they seek the citadel, that's your direct object, Arkham, the citadel of savage Minerva. That's her patronymic. So don't worry, it doesn't look like Minerva, but I give it to you over here, Minerva. They are hidden under the feet of the goddess and beneath the circle of her shield. Do you want to come say hi, Miss May? You can come say hi really quick. Come on. It's okay. She can say hi. She can say hi. I know. Here, say hi. Hi. All right, now will you go be quiet? Thanks, girl. All right, then Hi. Indeed, then indeed, and then this is your we're gonna get plural verbs, or I mean, we're gonna start talking about a group of people. That's because the Trojans who are all watching this are who they're talking about. So then indeed, a new fear, like is woven into, that's where we get our word insinuate, is woven into their beneath their pectora tremefacta, their trembling chests of all. That's a genitive cuncti. So maybe the trembling chests of all. The all there is the Trojans who are listening. And they say, now this part is tricky because it's an indirect statement. So we're going to get an accusative subject. So I'm going to use the purple highlight for the subject and verb of the indirect statement. So they say, that's Ferent, they say that Laocoon paid for his crime. Oh, sorry, deserving Laocoon. paid for his crime. I made it paid here because that's a perfect infinitive. So since it's perfect with a present head verb, ferent, it's going to stay perfect. So they say that deserving Laocoon paid in the past for his crime. He who, that's qui, wounded. Oh shoot, that one was wrong. That one was wrong. I need to erase that one. Um, he who wounded, that is your word for wounded, wounded the sacred oak with a spear. Remember, he threw the spear earlier. Or sorry, that's not the word for spear. That's the word for the point of the spear itself. So with the point, wounded the sacred oak with the point. And here's where my relative clause actually closes. Hurled the wicked spear at its back. Oh goodness, that was a big one. Sorry. Hurled the wicked spear at its back. That's the back of the Trojan horse when he threw the spear in the first bit. And then this whole big next two lines is another indirect statement based on conclamant. So conclamant is your main verb here, and then in green I will do your indirect statement. This is going to look a little bit confusing because there's no essay. So it's hard to see the verb in here, but where I'm putting these two arrows, one here and one here, there needs to be an essay. Remember, a gerundive with any form of essay is a passive periphrastic, the one that means that you must do something. So that's what these are. Ducendum and orandum are gerundives in a passive periphrastic. So they shout that the Trojan horse, must be led to the seats. That the image, that's it, the image, I don't know why I did that. The image, ducendum essay. The image must be led to the seats. Remember, that's metonymy for their homes. We saw that in Orpheus and Eurydice as well. And the divinity of the gods must be beseeched. That basically means they need to apologize. So they have to take it in and they have to apologize to the gods for letting Laocoon hurt it so they don't all end up getting snaked. Okay, that was all. Thank you. Thank you for listening and being patient. See you tomorrow.